Okay, good. That's not recorded.
All right. So how's your life been affected by the pandemic as a student?
Well, I was really, really concerned that my grades were going to drop uh, because I have a hard time focusing when I'm at home because, especially since I've gone to college, home is like it's vacation time because I'm only ever home for like breaks and like summer vacation and stuff. So I'm always like, oh, I don't have anything to do because I'm home. Plus, I have two older siblings, and my brother has been working from home since last fall because he's saving up to go to law school. So he's been here. But then my sister had to come home from her school too to do classes online here too. And me and my sister share a room. So there's really nowhere in the house that I can go that's like private for me. So I'm either always doing work right next to my sister or I'm like struggling to like focus elsewhere. So I was really nervous about grades and stuff. But as it turns out, like a lot of my I think I just got really lucky with the set of professors that I had when this happened. Because a lot of my professors were very like accommodating and they were very understanding of it. I only had one professor that was like not very like lenient. Get your butt out of my face. Um, that was not very lenient with it. I think honestly the hardest thing about it wasn't doing the assignments and everything. Um, because I've always put like school first, like because my grades are very important in considering my ability to go to college. Like period. Like I won't have money to go to college if I don't keep up grades for scholarships and stuff. So I've always like put a priority on that. But yeah, so the hardest part about it was like being patient with professors, I think, because a lot of them don't know how to use the internet. It's not their first language or whatever. So it's very frustrating to like sit there on a Zoom meeting and watch them struggle to like share their computer sound for like 20 minutes. Like I get it. I feel bad for them and everything, but I just wish there was more like sufficient training for these teachers before we moved online because every class I'm in now feels like a completely different class. Not even from whenever we were in person, but just like it feels like I'm at different colleges because one class just doesn't meet in line at all. One class changed all the assignments. One class this and that, and it just doesn't feel as cohesive as it would in person, which obviously is expected. It's just that's quite an adjustment.
Right. And I've seen like a lot of students struggle with motivation in general, like with the switch to online classes. And then I know that there's a pass fail option right now. I don't know too much about it. Do you?
Yeah, so I'm actually considering the pass fail option for one of my classes because the way that the class is set up, the final project that we have to do is 35% of our final grade, which I just think is ridiculous. um, but especially because there has like even before we moved online, there wasn't like sufficient instruction. Like I did always feel lost in that class. Like the teacher did not provide very good information for us in person, and now that we're online, it's even more disoriented and everything. But the reason why I'm kind of thinking about that pass fail is because the teacher isn't the one that gets their final project. It's graded by an agency in Dallas, which is kind of scary, especially like online. Like I don't know how it's going to work. Like we still don't have a lot of information about how this presentation is working.
Mm-hmm.
But this pass fail option, um, everybody says it's not going to affect your GPA or whatever, but it really does unless you have like if you have a B in the class but you want to keep like a 4.0, so you do the no pass option, um, it will affect your GPA in some fashion. I'm not sure exactly how. Sorry, I'm getting distracted because my brother's staring at me because he wants me to let the dog in whenever he's standing right next to the door.
You're important and you're doing an interview.
Or I'm talking to someone. Sorry, but yeah, the pass no pass option. I feel like everybody at UNT, like all the faculty and everybody, is presenting it as this great option. But the more I find out about it, the less appealing it gets. Like you'll think one thing about it, and then I'll talk to my friends, and they'll be like, "No, it only works for like non-major courses." So like I've heard, and I'm actually like I emailed my advisor this morning about it because I was just so confused. But like I've like the more I read about it, the less sense it makes. And I'm kind of just like, is the grade I get is the grade I get at this point. I don't think I'm gonna fail the class, which like I feel bad for people who genuinely are going to fail these classes. because of like the change that online has caused. And like, yeah, it's not clear. Like I know about it, but I don't know what it is, if that makes sense, because no one is very clear with it. Like every email I get, it just seems to tell me a completely different story. Like you can wait until the last day of finals and the last day the grades are posted to change to no pass. But two of my professors sent out an email saying I needed to tell them by April 30th if I wanted to pass, no pass. So like it's just not, there's no consistency within it, which like how can there be consistency when people can't talk to each other? Yeah.
It just really feels like it was sort of like UNT press a panic button.
Yeah. And now like it's just you either appreciate them for that or you hate them for that, but like either way there's no correct way. That's why like I get kind of like irritated when I see people complaining about the administration or whatever and like what they're doing, like not even at UNT, like at all the colleges. And I'm just like, if we kept doing classes in person, we would be upset. If we cancel classes, we'd be upset. If we moved to online, we'd be upset. Like there's just no like good way to handle, like you can't handle this a correct way. Like obviously there are better ways to handle it, but there is no 100% this is the right way to do it. And it just sucks that this is the sort of thing that you have to figure out as you go along. And like even my mom, she's an elementary school teacher, and like I completely forget that like we're not the only students on this planet. So like she's having to her and her like co-workers are having to teach like introductory skills to these elementary schoolers through an online form. And you know those kids can't be held reliable to get on a computer. Like their parents have to let them on. So like you're placing education in the hands of like parents who either care a lot or don't care at all. So like as far as college students go, most of us are like self-aware and have access to the materials that we need to do our best. Whereas like some other kids don't, like younger students, like middle school, elementary school, like their education, I feel like is being threatened at a lot higher level than ours is. And I think we're taking for granted just the ability to even attend a Zoom lecture at this point. So yeah, that kind of like deterred from it, but sorry, I just thought of it.
Fine. What events by UNT Improv have been canceled as a result of the coronavirus?
You want to take this one?
I think he's just interviewing you right now.
Oh, just me? Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, well, whoever has like more information, I guess.
I mean, we had to cancel all of our upcoming shows, and we have shows every week, so that really put a wrench in our whole club, like because that's what our club is based off of, is big group events and performing. So we've had to cancel all of our meetings because we can't meet in person. We had to cancel all of our shows, and we had some events coming up. We were going to have this like big event for April Fool's Day. We were gonna do like some really exciting stuff. That had to be canceled. Just yeah, everything's kind of canceled now. We've had to move all of our officer elections online, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Like we just don't have anything to do anymore.
Yeah, we also had like some like social media challenges planned that were involving more of the student body, which sucks because like that would have been fun to get off the ground before like the next semester started. So like there was a new expectation for fall. So it feels like next fall, especially because like I'll be going back. Juliana's obviously graduating, but like it's like I'm just realizing like we're really gonna have to start from scratch because we had all these ideas that we didn't get to test out. And it's already hard coming back from like a summer vacation to get everybody on the same page again. So yeah, everybody's just starting at square one again.
So yeah, that was actually going to lead me to, and Juliana thinks you actually like answered another question I was going to ask about like how y'all are going to elect presidents or VPs and stuff like that, because I know BSU had a whole elections like through Zoom and stuff like that. So so Madeline, how would you say what steps do you think that UNT Improv is going to take to, I guess, start from scratch?
Yeah, Madeline, what are y'all gonna do without me?
I don't know. Right now, I don't even know if I'm going to be returning as an officer next semester. Just because, like, I love improv and I love this club and everything, but with everything happening, it hasn't been the number one thing on my mind, which I